Hi, no, I did not like pregnancy at all, but probably not for the reasons most people would think. So for anyone who is new here, my name is MJ. I'm female to male. I've been transitioning a long time. I was on hormones for years. I had to stop because they didn't react well with my liver. I've had top surgery. But prior to my transition, I had a biological son who I obviously still have. Most of my page, or a lot of it, surrounds parenting. Not all of it, a lot of it. Yeah, that's my son and I when he was first born. Now, I am going to do two responses to this. I am going to do like a general one in this video on just general reasons why pregnancy was not for me. And then I'm going to go into more detail in another video where I'll put like a trigger warning because that one will get probably a little heavy. So I remember before I even transitioned, I made a comment like on my Facebook that I was so glad I wasn't pregnant again, and I got a lot of backlash. People were like, you're gonna miss this time, like, that time bonding with your son while he was in your belly, and it's just like, hasn't happened yet. Like, where's that yearning? It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Or people would be like, there's people out there who struggle, so you shouldn't take it for granted. And respectfully, that's not my fault. Like, parents should be allowed to talk about what they didn't like about pregnancy, what they don't like about parenthood. It should be okay to talk about. So the first thing I hated about being pregnant, I should show you a picture of when I was pregnant. So this is me when I was pregnant, just to give you a visual of what I looked like. So the number one thing I hated about being pregnant is that other moms are ruthless. I don't know why maybe you can tell me what possesses you guys to do this, okay? It was literally, I had my son a little early, so 8 months. It was 8 months just full of other mothers telling me, a new mom, I was scared already about a human dropping out of me, you know what I mean? They're telling me about horror stories about giving birth. Horror story. Like, I remember when I got induced in the hospital with Pitocin. I had already had the Pitocin, and I had a mom texting me about what a horrible reaction to Pitocin she had. Like, shut up. And just as a side note, if you're pregnant, a new mom or whatever, my birth was a freaking breeze. I watched Ella Enchanted. It was fine. You'll be fine. Another thing I didn't like, it was very claustrophobic. It was very claustrophobic being pregnant. I'm claustrophobic. I don't like feeling restricted, and I felt like as my stomach was growing, I was more restricted. Also, okay, so this is me literally when I found out I was pregnant. This was me at the appointment. I don't know if it's because I looked so young back then. I was 22, but doctors were so belittling to me. They acted like I was so stupid. At this appointment, the doctor was so freaking condescending. I'm running out of time, but also I didn't like the back pain. I have 3 different types of scoliosis, so I know back pain, but this was a nagging pain that, like, if I could only bend forward, it would go away, but I couldn't because I had a beach ball stomach. I couldn't. Alright everybody, so this is part 2 about why I did not like being pregnant, and probably not for the reasons people would suspect. It has nothing to do with gender identity or anything. If you're new here, my name is MJ, I'm female to male. I've been transitioning for years. I was on hormones for years. I stopped because my liver started to fail on them. I've had top surgery, but I had a biological son, almost 10 years ago now, a decade ago, obviously. I still have him, and that's why a lot of my page surrounds parenting and everything. Now, I just want to do a disclaimer that this is going to be talking about some serious struggles because I did get pregnant while I was in and out of recovery, and so just please proceed with caution. So this is me literally right before I found out I was pregnant. Not right before, but like it's probably like maybe a month or so before. So I was not doing well. I had a very, very bad eating disorder I was struggling with. I was not sober at the time. My main issues were definitely mental health related though. I was in and out of recovery. I'd try to go in myself. I wouldn't follow through. I'd leave or they'd kick me out because of inconsistency. I didn't complete my recovery program until I started transitioning, which is pretty impressive. I mean, I stayed sober before then, but I didn't actually graduate my recovery program until I started transitioning. That tells you something. Being pregnant when you have an eating disorder, very disheartening, very dehumanizing. By the way, are those piss test cups in back of me right there? Is that what those are? Oh, so wholesome. Okay, but anyways, Anyway, so yeah, this is me when I was pregnant, obviously, and it was very hard because when you have an eating disorder and you're pregnant, it's embarrassing. I get why they do what they do, but you have all eyes on you. I had to be weighed backwards. In front of everybody. It was humiliating. I get why they did it. I get it, but it was also like, it was a rough experience. You have so many eyes on you, no privacy. It was hard. And the thing is like back then, I mean, any change in my weight, any comments about my weight, anything completely sent me spiraling. Nowadays, someone calls me fat, I'm like, thanks, baby. But back then, it was a whole different story. The medical staff were not supposed to address weight with me at all. And I remember a medical assistant or a nurse, I think it was a medical assistant, came in and she started lecturing me about my weight. She didn't read my chart. She didn't bother to read my chart. And she got in deep shit for it, which normally I would feel empathy because I know dealing with patients all day, I'm sure it's very overwhelming. However, she was horrible. I remember feeling so vulnerable because like any little minute, because all eyes are on you and your weight and your body when you're pregnant. Like it's constant. I remember my baby's daddy's aunt made like a comment about, wow, you're getting big. And she didn't mean it in a bad way. I ran out crying.